I was sitting here meditating just a second ago, trying to sort of feel how I felt. I felt particularly unmotivated to do what I thought I should be doing based on my own self-imposed expectations about wanting to be creative and work on music and all the rest. But recently I've been feeling that a part of me really wants to do that, but there's another part of me that isn't fully there. And so tonight I decided to sort of just listen to it rather than fight with myself. And I've tried to kind of go into what that feeling is, because I don't feel that it feels right to force myself to be creative or to have to express something that doesn't feel natural. And so I'm really trying to kind of go with how I really feel without trying to place judgment on whatever it is I do feel. Because ultimately I don't really have control over those things. I've learned that it's just better to go with it. And while I was meditating and trying to dig deeper into what it was I was actually feeling, whatever it was that seemed to be stopping me from doing what I wanted to do, I started having like an internal conversation with myself, and this inner dialogue started as if to give me like clarity on what's going on. And it was loud enough for me to hear it and be able to want to express it the way I am now. And for whatever reason, I felt compelled to record it for whatever reason. And I'm starting to feel that this is the thing that feels like I'm not resisting in any way. When I'm trying to push myself creatively or do things that I think I should be doing based on my own expectations, of course I can brute force it and produce results, and do what I feel like I should be doing. But to the degree that I'm fighting with myself, I think is the degree to which the creation isn't as authentic as it could be. And so I think I'd rather just listen to how I feel. And funnily enough, capturing this on video seems to be the thing that feels most right. There was something that came over me that made me realize that I'm always, to some, even if it's a small degree, not being fully honest with myself and trying to be something or somebody that perhaps I'm not. And that's not to say that the things that I'm doing aren't somehow or some way going to be what I do in the future, because I do think those things are an extension of what it is I want to be doing. However, it seems like the most important thing for me to do is to just let go of any expectations. And to perhaps reveal this side of myself to myself, and for whatever reason I felt the urge to to capture this. I'm not sure what I'll do with this footage, but if you're watching it, then clearly I felt it was important to share. And I have had these thoughts before where I felt as if I wanted to be more vulnerable and open and honest with not only myself but with everybody else, because I feel like I owe it to myself and to others as well. And I can't do that if I'm not being honest with myself. And I guess this is what I'm trying to do. And sometimes I feel like I can go through this and meditate by myself and come to a certain conclusion and feel better and then move on, and then maybe one day I feel like that's something that I'm able to share. But part of me thought this realization, that there was a realization I had where I thought, rather than just do that by myself and have that internal monologue with myself, I thought for some reason it might be nice to do that openly. And so this is just a really raw stream of consciousness. And it also not only helps me become more comfortable with revealing this side of myself, but hopefully it also gives others the opportunity to be more authentically real and honest, transparent with themselves and with people around them. It's easier said than done, of course. But I'm really trying to do that. I know this isn't always how I feel. A lot of the times I feel like, particularly lately, I have been feeling quite, for the most part, good. But if I am to only acknowledge the parts that feel good and to shy away from parts that, or times that don't. I think to that degree I'm not being fully honest with myself. And even though this feeling isn't always there and won't always be there, I still think it's important to feel into it and to give it the attention and respect that it deserves. Because I think this is natural. The way we live our lives, projecting a particular image to the world, as much as it may seem like a positive thing, I think there's a real danger in doing that. Because if we can't be fully honest with how we feel, particularly if it may not be positive in nature, I think that can lead to pretty detrimental personal and societal consequences. And it's no surprise that perhaps because of the way we are, things like our collective mental health isn't anywhere near it where it should be, in my observations. And so I feel, even just for myself, that it's so important for me to capture this side of myself. Because it doesn't always last long, and it's not always there, but when it is, I feel like I want to do it justice by paying attention to it. And hopefully by revealing it, someone else will be able to relate with perhaps not feeling motivated, with not feeling inspired, just feeling generally not good. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay to not feel great 24/7. And the almost ironic thing is that in letting myself not feel good, that is the thing that actually makes me feel good. And it's only by running away from my truest feelings, regardless of whatever they are, negative or not, that to that degree I feel discomfort and a tension and a inner conflict. And funnily enough, through sharing all of this, I feel a lot better. And if I'm to listen to this intuition that I have. It's that this stream of consciousness and this way of being, this way of exposing myself in this way, I feel is going to be very important for me, and hopefully for others as well, because I just think surely we must be tired of pretending to be someone that we're not. Because, I mean, I am. And I guess sometimes it takes certain things, or it takes... It can sometimes require a psychological catalyst of sorts before the realization can be had. But no matter how long it takes, I think that is something that we do need to acknowledge within ourselves if we want to feel as best we can. The other thing as well that I realized is that I don't know of anybody, and I'm surely there must exist people who are doing a similar thing to this, but at least personally I don't follow anybody that I can think of that just fully exposes themselves in a way like this, and is just real. I know of some YouTubers that come to mind that perhaps are more genuine than others, more authentic and more maybe even self-aware than others. And I have a lot of respect for those people who have the courage to do that. But still seems like there's a lack of content in this way. And I think initially I would have been hesitant to share something like this, but I don't feel that way anymore. It feels like the right thing to do. And I'm not... I think perhaps I would have been ashamed of how I felt in the past. But I just don't feel that anymore. It's just... I think that only can exist if your ego is somehow involved and attached to an idea of presenting yourself in a certain way, and that by letting go of that image, it's revealing too much of something that you may not wish to show. But I think having let go of those tendencies within myself that definitely used to exist and probably still do exist, doing so, I've found a lot more inner, I guess peace is the word. Because it's a whole lot less concern and worry and energy that I'm putting into being something that maybe I'm not. All I can really do is just surrender and be honest about what it is that I do feel, and I guess that's all I can really do. And I think becoming comfortable with sharing the least or the less than flattering psychological states that we may go through and inevitably do, the more comfortable we can become with being uncomfortable, I think there's a lot of liberation to be found in doing so. And so I feel like that's something that I would want not only for myself but for everybody. And what's funny is that I think about this time last year, I wrote a script for a video that I wanted to make at the time. And it carried a very similar concept to what I've basically just shared through this. And maybe I will share it in the future, I'm not too sure. But what's funny is that it was so scripted, and yet at the time I guess it was almost ironic that I wanted to get across a message so desperately regarding the importance of vulnerability in this sense, and how it may be what's necessary for people. But there must have been a part of me that was still not being fully authentic with myself in the way that I wanted it to be, or wanted myself to be, when creating that piece. And it's probably the reason that it wasn't shared at the time. And so just removing all sort of expectations for myself and to just speak my mind is, I guess, something that I don't or haven't really done. But it feels right. And I guess I want to just see where this goes. If there's more that I want to share like this, I don't know. Again, it's easy for me to just want to place an expectation on myself to be a certain way. However innocent it may seem at the time, for me personally, it generally doesn't allow me to do what I'm doing in a very sustained way. And so I'm just gonna go with whatever this is, however long this video is. For me personally, I know I needed it. I needed to have this expression. I needed to be able to let this out. I think what I was trying to say was that generally I'll meditate or journal or speak to a friend that is able to listen. And between any of those methods, I'm generally able to process what it is that I feel and do it in a way that allows me to understand, and I'll usually feel a lot better after doing that. But this is something that I guess I haven't really done, and again, I'm not sure what I'll do with this. But if you're watching it, clearly I've uploaded it. I think I've wanted to do something like this for a long time, just a really, really raw, honest monologue, basically. That's what it is. But I think, yeah, there are a lot of things that were holding me back from doing that before. But funnily enough, there feels like zero resistance. Like, it feels somehow so... I can't seem to articulate. It's such a contrast to what I was feeling just before, when I was like trying to push myself to work on music. But I don't feel like that's the way. And I just want to see wherever this leads. And I'm just going to try my best to continually honor my feelings. Because when it is that I've properly followed them, without any insistence of some sort of expectation of how things ought to be. It's always worked out for the best. So if you are watching this, I hope in some way or form that this has been helpful. I mean, for me personally, it is, to just have a space to let myself be, let myself think, let myself say what's on my mind, allow this flow of consciousness to take form. And I think the thing that I've realized is that I think I'm always seeking out certain content subconsciously, and I think if I saw a video like this, of course maybe a lot of people wouldn't want to watch it, but I think I would absolutely want to watch something like this, because I'm fascinated with the idea of someone just having a stream of thought and just capturing it and being pretty raw about it. And of course, you know, a polished video with a high kind of quality production value to it, of course, has its place. But so does this. And it's something that I think in myself I haven't let myself ever do. And so if it helps in any way to anybody who is watching this, then that's all I could ever hope for. I don't think you'd be watching this far if you weren't, if it wasn't interesting or insightful. I don't want to say that. I mean, insightful in the sense that it's like into my own personal thoughts, but not on a I'm not even going to edit that out. I'm just what else do I want to say? Feels like not sure. It's such a, actually another thing I wanted to say was that it's such a almost like hilariously strange thing for myself to like allow myself to do this, if I am to like compare or going by maybe what I would have thought in the past, I guess, if that makes any sense. Because I don't think I would have let myself do this or just allow myself to talk like this and have really long like silences on the camera where I'm not saying or doing anything. But I don't know, it just I'm not doing a good job of articulating what it is that I'm feeling and trying to say, but I hope it comes across either way. I think that's all I really wanted to say. I'm not sure if this is something that I'll do again. Maybe it is. If anyone's watching this and it's helped to facilitate a new way of thinking, or to enable someone to reconsider maybe, or self-examine their own tendencies to be a certain way or whatever, I would personally really I would definitely really like to hear what people think. Yeah. I think that's everything. I'm rambling at this point. Let me know what it means, or how you feel about seeing something like this. I genuinely would like to know. Because I would only ever wish to... in doing all of this, I think what I was trying to say is that I wish to facilitate a place, a sense of safety and comfortability within whoever it is that I interact with, in a way that they are also able to open up and share how they feel, because I think that's incredibly, desperately necessary in today's society for one. But if I can, in any capacity, help to allow someone else to do the same and be just as open or vulnerable with how they feel, regardless of whatever it is, I would be more than happy to be there for anybody. And I really genuinely mean that. And I just wish to create a space that people can feel comfortable enough to do that. And so don't hesitate to reach out and message me for whatever it is you need, because I will always try to the best of my ability to help if I can. So yeah, I think that's everything I want to say. I hope you're all well. I'm talking like I think at this point I'm gonna have to share this video. Please take care out there, and I'm here if anyone needs. Alright. I'm out of here. See ya.